this is a human being, right? It's
I think so.
I get so it's not like I think that he sees himself, Dejante, as maybe above someone else just because he's in the NBA, right?
You're listening to the Gather Step.
Gather Step
podcast featuring TriLLL and Bake and TriLLL.
Welcome to the Gather Step podcast. I'm Bake Bunwall.
I'm TriLLL 214, and this is a podcast about hoops, but we put a comedy spin on it, and we usually talk about lists, top three, things like that. Anything that's funny, anything that's, I guess, engaging, right? You would say?
Yeah, I think that there's more aspects to basketball than just like basketball. It's a lot of funny shit, and you know the league in itself is probably the league that I think is the funniest out of all sports leagues. There's a lot of characters in the NBA. There's a lot of history in the NBA, and you know I'm just excited to talk about it.
Yeah, man, I'm excited too. You know, I'm excited to get into these top three lists we have. We have about 5 top 3 lists today, and we just want to make our predictions. And if you guys want to maybe look on some Vegas Insider or FanDuel for some futures down the road, we're looking to bet on some of these picks, preseason picks, predictions, things like that. You want to start off with our top 3 MVP?
Yeah. So for the season, I have at number 1, I'm going to go with Joel Embiid. My reasoning for that is that
Joel Embiid?
Yeah. The media wants it, man. The media wants it.
Okay.
Jokic went in back-to-back seasons. Sixers fans were basically crying at the end of last season, like on their hands and knees pleading to fucking the NBA, just like all the voters, like Joel Embiid deserves it. I don't think he did, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm a Nuggets fan. I'm from Denver.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm a Mavericks fan. I'm from Dallas. Go ahead.
I'm always going to have a bias to Nikola Jokic. It's just what it is. This is not unbiased. In any form, I'm always going to be biased. But Joel Embiid, if he stays healthy, that's the biggest key. If he stays healthy, there's voter fatigue with Jokic.
Hold up. What do you think Joel Embiid is going to average? I'm talking about points, rebounds, assists, 2022, 2023.
Well, he averaged, 33 last year? Let me see.
Just because I feel like, let's look at what he averaged last year, right? Mm. And then let's extrapolate that data next year. Because we're not just going to say, so this is, for example, I don't know how many points Joel Embiid scored in 2022, 2021.
It was 30.6.
So you think 30.6. You think this, and what it could, do you have the stats up where it was 2 years ago, or we're talking about 2019 to 2020? I would like to see those stats too.
23 points, 11.6 rebounds.
Injury year, right?
That year he played 51 games.
Yeah, injury year, 51 out of 82. So he went from 26 points.
23,
even less. 23 points in 2018?
2019,
2022, or 2020.
But here's the kicker, right?
Okay.
2018, he averaged 27.5. And he played 64 games.
Is Joel Embiid going to score or average more than 30 points over and under? Figure it out. 2022 to 2023.
He's going to score over 30 points a game.
Over 30 points, and that's how he's going to get MVP. Okay.
I mean,
it's a good take. It's a good take.
I think that there's definitely going to be contenders besides Joel Embiid.
Absolutely. Who's your next one?
My number 2 is Luka Poopa Dog Shit.
Hold up. You see the hat?
Yes, sir.
Salad. Because in 2020, COVID year, Dallas, salad is upside down, right? Because Dallas in 2020, because of COVID, was upside down.
It's upside down.
Go ahead.
The whole world was upside down.
The whole world was upside down. Go ahead.
All right, so Luka, it's going to be tough for him being a white guy just because...
White boy.
Jokic has won back-to-back, right?
Yes.
A white guy 3 years in a row. Who knows? I mean, I just don't think that's... I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing that I think is going to hold him back.
Absolutely.
I think he's got a team around him that may not be a top team in the West, but Jokic shouldn't have a top team in the West. If Luka manages to get the Mavericks into home court advantage through the first round,
so
like top 4,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I I don't see who else there would cause him to not have
absolutely
MVP,
nobody.
right?
Mavs fan, MFFL hashtag Mavs fan for life. Absolutely, I agree with this man. Go ahead, keep going. Talking about Luka.
I mean, they have what? Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yep.
They lost Jalen Brunson.
Nope. Mm-hmm.
I
hate him.
They lost Kristaps, which I mean, let's be honest, nobody fucking cares.
No one cares about Kristaps.
Next, like who else do they have on there?
THJ is supposed to come back. Whoa. What do you mean?
Bro, he's gonna be the same guy.
Can we
same exact guy.
Okay.
He's gonna score 15, be injured half the year.
I don't know about the injury, but I'll take the 15 all day. 15 points off the.
But if you want to be a top 4 in the West is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have either Luka is on this crazy level, which is gonna put him in the MVP almost guaranteed.
I think so.
Or you need to have someone else that's scoring 20, 22-ish.
Yeah.
Especially with Luka being a facilitator.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt.
Who's that?
Christian Wood.
Christian Wood. I forgot about Christian Wood.
Absolutely. You said 20 at least?
I think Christian Wood's about 18.
You're not giving him the 2 points?
Nope.
No, I think with Christian Wood, this is something that's going to help Luka Doncic a lot because Luka Doncic is definitely someone that could take it into the paint, dish it out. He could handle the ball and just shoot it. He doesn't need to pass it. You know, there's some, for you Mavs fans out there, you know this. There's some possessions out there where Luka will take it 94 feet all the way, him be the only one to touch it and just shoot it just because he's that guy. Right. So we're going to have Christian Wood. He's going to definitely contribute. And the fact that I even brought up THJ, and in this case, we're talking about Luka Doncic getting the MVP nod. And THJ, I feel like, is going to be instrumental like that. We can look up the statistics. We don't need to right now. But whenever you have somebody like Luka Doncic that has a corner three, three-pointer accurate, someone that could just take it to top of the key and just maybe even jump into the mid-range, someone like that where it's just a catch and shoot like person, shooter, scorer, like Tim Hardaway Jr., I feel like that just spaces the floor, and that's what Luka needs to facilitate inside and through the lane. But yeah, I mean, we did lose. I mean, we have Spencer Dinwiddie. I feel like he's going to be 20 plus also, and even if he's coming off the bench, I feel like he could get that easy. You don't think he could get 20?
No. I think.
Hold up. So sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But you're saying you're not giving my guy 2 points with Christian Wood. You're saying he's going to average 18 and not 20.
Yeah.
Well, how much did Christian Wood even average? Last year?
I think probably 18. Honestly.
Okay. Well, then I think my man's is due for some upgrade. Maybe even just 2 points. But
let's see where Christian Wood was at.
So Christian Wood is only going to average 18. This is what this guy says, and then he says. You say that Spencer Dinwiddie
averaged exactly 18, 17.9. I can see how you could say that he's going to be upgraded now that he has a better facilitator. And
Whoa, better facilitator. One of the best facilitators in the NBA, top 3 at least.
Top 3.
The facilitator, absolutely. We could look up Luka's assist, but
I mean,
who else is better?
Is he averaging double-digit assists?
I think he's averaged 8 or 9.
Yeah, I mean, he does bringing the ball up and averaging 8 or 9 probably doesn't put you in top 3 though. Jokic is averaging 8 or 9, and he's not even bringing the ball up most of the time.
Okay, well now
let's look at Chris Paul brings the ball up, and he's averaging probably 10-ish.
I don't like probablys. We'll have to look this up. I don't know. Sneeb, can you figure this out? Let's move on, but let's figure it out because I feel like you have a really long list. But I mean, we both agree here. Number 2, or for me, number 1. But let's let Bake finish.
Okay.
Number 2 MVP. Who is your third and final guy on your MVP list?
Yeah. So I have Ja Morant. And as we go further in the podcast, you'll see that I have Ja Morant going it could be one of 3 directions this year, but one of the directions is MVP. And I think Ja Morant, as much as like he's fucking annoying.
Why is he annoying?
Just Twitter fingers and just like mad talking shit when like Memphis hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know.
Don't you feel him though?
I get it.
How old is Ja Morant?
He's like 21, 22.
Dude, 22. Let's just extrapolate ourselves. Well, for you, this is going to be a little bit of a closer day, but I'm going on 33. So I'm 32 right now. And me at 22, Ja Morant's age, the fact that he's acting annoying and just acting wild, I mean, I feel like that's a right of a man, you know what I'm saying?
I get it.
He's in his toxic prime is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you know.
I get it.
Oh wait, carry on.
Okay. Well, with Ja Morant, I think that it also depends on where Memphis is at the end of the season. If they're home court advantage first round, and we already know Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to have injuries. Desmond Bain will probably be there. Dylan Brooks is going to have injuries. Dylan Brooks isn't really any good.
Desmond Bain is huge though. But yeah,
Desmond Bain is good, but Ja is going to need to be that guy. At Memphis last year, they won a ton of games without Ja, and it kind of hurt his case.
Yeah,
because everybody's like, oh, they don't need Ja Morant to win. This year will be his year to prove that Memphis is even better when he's there, because they are good without him. They won a lot of games without him, but if he's there and they are a top 4 seed, Ja Morant has to be put in that conversation. I think that the conversations were starting last year. And this year it's just going to grow stronger and stronger for his case. And, it really just depends on if he can stay healthy with the play style that he has and if he can stay consistent. Because right now he's not a great shooter and he relies so much on getting into the paint, jumping around.
Right.
You're risking injury going
Russell
in there.
Westbrook. Go ahead.
Yep. He reminds me of Derrick Rose. Young Derrick Rose won that MVP. I think Ja is going to have to be a better season than Derrick Rose's MVP season, just because of how strong a seasons that people like Joel, Luka, Jokic, even though he probably won't win 3 straight MVPs, NBA just doesn't like that.
Yeah.
But Jokic is going to be at that top tier level, and you're going to have to look at Ja and say, how did he help Memphis Grizzlies more than Jokic helped the Nuggets?
Yeah. And that's, and that's crazy that you picked Ja Morant. I mean, not really that crazy, but it's something that's a little bit more unconventional. But I totally agree. I feel like Ja Morant is ready for the big stage. Young dude, and he obviously has some type of something inside of him, whereas he just really wants to win, and it maybe comes out as a bit arrogant or a bit annoying, but I feel like that fire is there. And when you're younger like that, you have to understand how to hone in that type of passion and how to use it constructively when you're on the court, and when for it not to let things dictate or take over it. A lot of the times you have all this fire as a young person and you're ready to win, you're ready to, get all these doughs, but at the end of the day, you're not focused because you feel like you feel like you're either there ready, or you feel like it's something that you're just too excited. You're not calm, so, I feel like Ja Morant's a great pick, but for me, my top 3 will be, of course, number 1, Mavs fans, Luka Doncic.
Poop a dog shit.
I think this man could average a triple-double.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely could.
Yeah, and I don't know what the odds are. You could look it up on FanDuel or wherever you bet, but it's like, for me, when I'm looking at Luka Doncic, he has the absolute package. This man's is a shooter, penetrator, mid-range, crazy back down game. He understands mismatches. He understands the tempo of the game. He knows who needs to get involved in the first or second quarter because they have a bad attitude and they're just not that alpha. They can't get back on the second quarter if they don't get at least 2 or 3 touches. There's some dudes out there, big men especially, if they don't get 2 or 3 touches in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, they're not playing defense, they're not rebounding, they're not hustling, they're not contesting shots. So I feel like Luka Doncic understands that. That's one thing about him that's the most innate thing when we're talking about MVP. Yes, you could have the athletic ability. Yes, you could have a really good team and support around you. But in that person itself, do they have the type of maturity and understanding of the game, intellectuality, IQ? You're talking about like Kobe, Michael Jordan, LeBron. Those people have IQ and understand that it's not really just about how athletic you could be, how fast you can run, how high you could jump. It's understanding who your teammates are and who needs to get involved in the future, who needs to get involved right now. Those are things that make MVP number 1, Luka Doncic, absolutely top of my list.
What about the maturity thing that you said, though? He's always out there crying. He's always he's getting
Objection.
texts. He's crying. He's crying.
Objection.
He's crying. Like just like I mean, I don't want to say it's just a European thing, but do you think that because he's European, maybe he doesn't get as many calls? Maybe that builds up a rage that seems to happen with a lot. Like we've always talked about throughout the NBA history, like Manu Ginobili, people like that are like flopping and crying for calls.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because Europeans don't get as many calls?
I want to disagree with you just because, but I do agree with you. It's a lot because first of all, the European game is totally different. With the NBA game. The NBA game, I feel like, is predicated just upon superstars, one-on-one. You have a lot of three-pointers, but when you're talking about international, it's a team effort. A lot of people are getting involved. There's a lot of ball movement, a lot of mid-range, right? Mm-hmm. So what we're talking about here is two different games, and I feel like when you do come from Europe and you transition into the U.S., like someone like Luka Doncic, there's a wave of, I would say, stereotypical thinking when it comes to European players ever since, because it's always been an unspoken thing where we're talking about AAU US bred players that grow up in the US circuit compared to the people internationally, and people internationally I feel like never really got the credit. You have the Manu Ginobili, so you have a lot of people, even Dirk Nowitzki. There's so many people that are from Europe that are labeled soft, are labeled this, or labeled that. So there's disdain. There's a type of, I feel like refs do overlook European players, and it's up to a superstar like Luka Doncic to maybe transform into what Twitter would say is a foul merchant, like James Harden, who else? I don't know, Chris Paul maybe, things of LeBron, because
LaFlop.
Exactly. And as a hooper that when you're getting a free throw, you're getting to the line because you got a call. That's not only getting you 2 points, that's telling that defender that fouled you, that might be at 3 fouls at the second half, I need to chill out. So the way that defender that just fouled you is going to play is going to be less aggressive. So that if you're Luka Doncic. So you're thinking, if I could get my team and put that team on my back by putting the refs on notice and saying, hey, X, Y, and Z is grabbing me in the lane, I need to get a call. You haven't given him a call in the last 3 possessions. Well, I think that's just part of MVP play.
Yeah. I mean, Jokic went 2 seasons winning MVP without getting the calls that I feel, and a lot of Nuggets fans, obviously biased, feel. He got hacked a lot. He always left the game bleeding arms. Right. Shooting 2 free throws a game. Yup. Versus Joel Embiid getting, 14, 12, 10 free throws.
And that's, not to cut you off, but that's a really, really good segue into my next person as MVP, and that's Mr. Joel Embiid. But go ahead. Keep talking about Joel Embiid.
Yeah, no, I think that Joel Embiid, so much of his game relies on getting to the foul line, right? And so, I mean, obviously, if he's able to sustain those free throw numbers, he's going to have that same 30 points a game. I think he's going to get more than 30 points a game. I don't think that it's going to change. Yep. I don't think he's dominant, and he's very, very good at flopping. And you have to be good at flopping, let's be honest, to get to the line, right? And Jokic,
such a negative. Hold on,
no, it doesn't. No, because
negative.
Jokic can't flop, right? He doesn't have the athletic ability. It's a gift. It's a skill to be able to flop.
So it's a positive comment.
It's a very positive comment. Like, I wish that my favorite player in Jokic had that ability to flop.
He would get 5 free throws more each game.
The way that he falls to the ground looks scripted. Yeah. It looks super scripted, unnatural. Especially even live. Like, you look at flops and you look at them in slow motion. It's like, okay, that's a flop. But you watch it in real time, like you're a ref. Real skilled floppers will be like, yo, I got fucked up in the lane. Call that shit. So that's Joel has that ability, and I think Joel is going to continue to score at a crazy rate for a big man.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm glad we agree there. I'll go ahead and get my last one, but I think the next, for me, the next subject is really, really interesting when it comes to top 3. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, before we do that, how about we just kind of talk about us right?
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so obviously I'm Bake Boonwell. A lot of you may be listening probably know me. I was kind of like, I've been through Nuggets Twitter. I've been a fan of the Nuggets.
Shout out the handle.
Bake Boonwell.
No, the Twitter handle or for Nuggets.
Nuggets out of context. Nuggets OOC or OOC at Nuggets OOC. I'm the creator of that. I've created a lot of like Nuggets content that, has been ripped from me and I haven't been given credit. I'm going to go through my Joker stages, getting back at all of you one by one.
You hear that? Be careful.
But yeah, the fat Serbian man, that shit. Yeah, I made that shit blow up, and now fucking
that was you.
Official teams have been posting that shit, and hey,
if you're on Twitter and you're retweeting some type of meme that has a fat Serbian man,
like
in the caption,
you just lost to anything that says you just lost to, and like some random player. Wow. That all you other fan bases tried to use, that was me. You should fucking credit me in every post and be like, yo, this is the OG. Mm-hmm. He made the fat Serbian, you just lost to the fat Serbian man video with Chief Keef, ha ha ha, over the top of it.
Yup. Yeah, so let's just address this real quick. Give this man his credit. Mm-hmm. Get on your Twitter, Bake Boonwell at Twitter. Show some love.
I deserve the love. You ever see a picture with Jokic with waves and fucking AirPods and diamond studs?
That was not you.
That was me, dog.
For real?
I made the very first one. I posted in a reply.
He never told me that.
I posted in a reply of fucking Bleacher Report, and then fucking got like 600 likes. Next thing I know, everybody's fucking posting it.
Did they at least the Bleacher Report? You know how they go? ESPN was like, "Can I please use this?"
No, they didn't use it. It was all the other people that were like in the replies, like
wow,
that started using that shit. Obviously, I don't think Bleacher Report would probably might be a little racy. Yeah, that was me. I made a Luka one too.
I've seen the Luka one before.
I made both. That was me.
I literally didn't know this. That's amazing, bro. My bad.
Hey, put some respect on my name.
Put some respect in his name. Okay, so that's a little bit of Bake Boonwell. Me, I'm TriLLL 214 with 3 L's. I used to do YouTube, do fun things like 2K, Madden, things like that. TriLLL with 3 L's, because 1 L is for you. TriLLL 214. I'm from Dallas. So yeah, I mean, I'm just a dude that loves Dallas. I love everything Dallas. I love, the Cowboys, you could see, and Mavericks. Been a fan since about maybe like Cowboys fan since 2001. Shout out to Quincy Cocaine Cowboy Carter. That was the quarterback for Dallas at the time. And I really grew up in the Dirk era where it was, 2011 was kind of like the tail end of Dirk's career whenever they won the championship. But, I've been a Mavericks diehard fan for so long and I like to play basketball. So, that's just a little bit about me.
As a Filipino man, do you feel like a race traitor for not being a fan of the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah. So there's so many. It's a population thing with Golden State and Oakland and the Bay, LA, California in general. So I understand all my Filipino people in the Bay especially love the Golden State Warriors. But let me just say this, and I say this from the bottom of my heart. 85% of y'all are bandwagoners. Mm-hmm. AKA, if you started watching the Golden State Warriors when it was already Steph, Clay, and Draymond, you might be a bandwagoner. So that's why I rock with the Mavericks.
Okay.
Because I'm from Dallas.
Yeah.
And I'm not a bandwagoner.
And that's the same reason I rock with Nuggets. I'm born and raised here, man. Yeah. I started watching basketball about the time that Melo came into the league. And that was about the time.
That's Carmelo Anthony for the young kids.
Yeah. Not the other one.
Yeah.
And my favorite player that really got me into basketball, he was still on the Sixers, but Allen Iverson, always my guy. I wish I could play like him and kind of like.
Oh, I love Allen Iverson.
I always tried to model my game after him, but in reality, I have like a video. This is kind of like what I play like now. You want to pull that up?
Yeah, let's pull that up.
Pull that shit up.
So you're saying this is how you play exactly right now as of this moment?
Yeah. Watch big number 50. Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
Yes, sir. Absolute unit.
He is
Coming
a
out
big
here,
dude.
you know, he's coming in for probably about a 2-minute stint. Just tired as fuck, just getting off the bench.
The score.
That's
is
how
30
I am.
point- Yeah. Okay.
Look at this dime.
Oh,
Splash.
Number 14
Splash.
with the ratchet. Okay. Shout out Chris Move. Wow. Okay. Number 50. I see you
Yeah, number 50.
taking the ball
7
out.
foot tall. You know, I'm 6'5", so I always try to have guard skills, but you know, coaches always try to meet.
Oh my God.
See, now that's a distraction move. He's just trying to distract the other team. Here he comes. Dime.
Right over the top.
Boom.
He's going straight to the bench.
Yes, he's tired.
No, he's injured. But let's look at the replay. That's amazing. Number 14 again. They're homies. They're homies.
Yeah,
50 and 14 are homies.
Yes, sir.
That was amazing.
Yep.
Look,
Ass
that's-
crack hanging out, just like me. As
They're che-
every time I'm fucking
They're
leaning
checking
over.
his Achilles though.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Okay. So that's how you play. Like, and you know,
Yeah, you know, I try to facilitate. I grew up. I played a lot of basketball. Was my life as a kid. I grew up playing a lot of basketball. I've played at, you know, I haven't really played at high levels, but you know, throughout school, I was always, despite being taller, trying to bring the ball up, trying to facilitate. So that's always been my game. So you know, I really appreciate a guy like Jokic because he, you know, was kind of
like you.
like me.
Yeah. I appreciate a guy like Luka because I'm like him. You know, and I don't have any clips up there, but just remember, we'll definitely have some more proof on how Bake plays and how Trill plays. But
Yeah.
let's get to top 3 ACL tears.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. Who in the 2022 to 2023 season do you think, Mr. Bake Boonwall at Bake Boonwall at Twitter, do you think is going to have a top 3 ACL tear?
Yeah, so obviously ACL tear is part of every season. It's so unfortunate. It's a
We're
terrible
not
thing.
wishing this on
We're not
people.
wishing it. Okay, no other news source is going to talk about this shit
Being real.
because it's like fucking what
It's
do you call
taboo.
it? Taboo.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
the word. It's taboo.
No.
It's like, but you know what? If you're a sports bettor, if you are someone that's placing futures on a team, futures on a player, you got to look at these risks, right? So
Got to.
the risks that I'm looking at, number one, mentioned earlier, Morant.
Oh my God. Mr. Pogo
So
stick.
as I said, it could go one of 3 ways this season for Morant. I'll mention the other one later. But if we look at the most recent, kind of most dominant ACL tears in terms of players in the NBA that were more relevant, Jamal Murray, guard, shifty, gets in the paint a lot.
Athletic, yep.
Kyra Lewis Jr., another guard, that's shifty, quick, gets in the paint. So Kyra Lewis Jr. and Jamal Murray, not exactly the same player as John Morant by any means, but often we talk about big guys getting ACL tears, but as we've seen, guards are definitely getting them. They're quick. If they're quick, they're moving a lot. They're jumping a lot. John Morant is that guy. He runs a lot. He shifts a lot. He jumps a lot. And he's jumping like dangerously.
Yeah.
This guy is trying to posterize everybody in the league.
It's the young
And-
man toxicity.
Exactly. And he's coming down hard. I don't know how he hasn't torn an ACL already just
Yeah.
by looking at that shit. And like I said earlier, I mean, it reminds me of Derrick Rose. And we know what happened to Derrick Rose. God forbid it happens to John Morant. But, you know, I think that John Morant has to extend his game, play a 3-point line too, be a reliable shooter.
John Morant.
Yeah. John Morant has to become
Yeah.
a shooter over just being that athletic guy like Russell Westbrook or Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose had the mid game. John Morant has a little bit of mid game, but he scored more paint points than like most bigs in the league.
Yeah, you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Be careful. John Morant, number 1. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Number 2.
I'm praying for you, Jai. I hope you have a good season, but just my doctorate opinion. Anthony Edwards is my number 2.
He's not a doctor, by the way. Go ahead. Keep going.
Anthony Edwards is my number 2. Essentially the same reason. He gets in a lane, jumps, shifty, quick. He's going to have a lot of playing time. Same with John Morant. They're going to have a heavy workload as young guys. As long as they stay healthy, they're going to play every game of the season. They're not going to have any of that fucking, whatever you call it, load management.
Nah, that's whack. by
Anthony
the way.
Edwards, I love Anthony Edwards as a player. I love watching him play. and he can shoot the ball. So I think that there is that, safe zone where he can not solely rely on getting to the paint, trying to posterize everybody, even though he is dominant in that.
Yeah.
And you do have to do what you're dominant at. But Anthony Edwards can shoot, and he's going to be he's going to be contained on the outside as well. So, Anthony Edwards, hope you don't get hurt, but another doctored opinion. My notes for the third one is just Zion -fat.
Why are you body shaming? Hold on. Zion isn't. He was fat, right? Can we agree with that?
No, I don't think he is fat, really.
Okay. Go on.
Just joking around. Obviously, this guy could be like 400 pounds and still kiss the rim. He's ridiculous. He's a freak of fucking nature. I'm 6'5". I can't even touch rim. I'm fat. That's fat. He's not fat. He's like what 6'7".
6'6". Okay.
Yeah, and I mean he probably weighs as much as me, and he's jumping out of the gym.
Wait, how much do you think Zion weighs?
I think he's like 280, 285.
I'm not gonna ask you how much you weigh. Okay, go on.
Yeah, let me see what Zion. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like.
I mean that's very understandable how you would make the note just Zion -fat.
Yeah,
but,
no, it's because he is such a prolific jumper.
Yeah,
and he's 284.
He's not a skinny dude, is what we're saying. We're not body shaming Zion.
No.
All we're saying is the Zion is on the heavier set. Never.
We would never body shame you.
No, we don't body shame.
Never.
Fat ass bitch. Go on.
But Zion, he plays undersized, meaning he has to jump a lot.
Right.
He's going to be in the lane because he can't shoot.
He can't.
He's a shifty kind of guy. He goes after every block. He's jumping on that end of the floor too.
Right.
I'm just looking at the risks, right? Like he is at a higher risk because he is jumping so much. He weighs so much. Not in a fat way. I weigh a lot in a fat way. Not you, Zion.
You see how he keeps reverting back to him to try to soften the blow of his initial body shame to Zion. But go on. Carry on.
I mean, I believe that Zion will probably have some injuries throughout his career just because of his build, and it's just kind of natural. Because his body is something different. In no sus way, no homo.
What do you mean different? Are you trying to just say he's fat in another way?
I mean, he looks fat, right? But he's not. He just looks it, and the scale will, the BMI calculators, right? They're gonna say you are fat as fuck, but it's not the case. I mean,
we're not body shaming.
His biceps crazy. He's like flatten a basketball with his own hands. I remember Summer League, his rookie year. Like, first play I saw this dude, he just ripped the ball out of some dude's hands as he's bringing the ball up.
Yo,
and just dunked in his face.
Do you remember that one time that little fucking white boy was trying to guard Zion?
Yeah, in high school, and he's like, "What the fuck is this guy?
Who is this guy?" Anyway,
yeah, but yeah, that's my top three for most likely get an ACL tear. Hope it doesn't happen, guys.
Yeah, and so caveat to that, before we move on with my list of top ACL tears, or we're not hoping that anyone tears their. Not hoping that anyone is even getting injured. We are NBA fans. We are NBA fans. We respect all the hoopers in their own way, in their own right, just because they're out there trying to compete away from the families. We don't want to see them fumble the bag and get an injury or anything like that.
Yeah, without them, we wouldn't have anything to talk about.
Exactly.
So.
And we wouldn't have anything to watch. You know, that's very important to me. But
nothing to win money on either.
Nothing to win money on. But this is my top three. And the first one is Jose Alvarado Jr. I feel like we always talk about the people that have an ACL tear that really matter. But I feel like Jose Alvarado Jr. is going to happen just because he's that real, like, Pat Beverly-esque type of dude that's, like, running around the court, acting brazy. Chill out. Yeah. Number two, AD. I don't think this man's has ever gone through a whole season without some type of injury.
Yeah.
You guys can fact check me on that, but I'm saying this dude AD doesn't like to hoop.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. I'm like, bro, just get out there.
Stop fucking falling all the time.
Absolutely. Stay on your feet. AD. So that's
maybe that's why he doesn't tear his ACL though, because he always lands on his ass. He's never on his fucking feet.
Yeah.
It could be like preventing an injury.
Well, I feel like you can still tear it if you fall over,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Take off wrong.
He's not really trying to contest. Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in LA. That's a whole different story. I'm sorry for you Laker fans, but AD number 2 and number 3, just because of what we were talking about earlier, and we agree that whenever you're a guard and you're playing very aggressive, especially you're always airborne up in the air, contesting shots, jumping inside the lane, doing all those things like Ja Morant, which is my last person. And I feel like you're very susceptible to tearing your ACL.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think we both agree with that. So let's move on to our next list. Top 3 people in the NBA. And again, this is another caveat. We're not wishing for these things to happen, but we are the Gather Step Podcast, me and Bake Boonwall at Twitter, Bake Boonwall and TriLLL214. And we're just letting you guys know what we think is going to happen this year, and take this information with a grain of salt. But don't be mad when we talk about who we think this upcoming season is going to get in trouble and get jailed.
Yeah. Get arrested, man.
Straight up.
We're bringing you the takes that ESPN won't bring you, right?
No.
Nobody else is gonna bring you this.
Nothing.
If you're a bettor, you need to know.
You need to know the information.
There's risks with certain people, right?
Absolutely.
And you're gonna rely on them for the season, even fantasy basketball. You got to know the risks.
You need the whole story.
Off the court too.
Absolutely.
So my top 3 most likely to get arrested. Number 1, Ja Morant. We should just call this Ja Morant podcast. But
this
like I said,
has been on all lists before this.
I said,
okay, go on.
His year could go one of 3 ways. He could win MVP, he can tear his ACL, or he could end up in prison.
Or he could really just do all of it.
Yeah, he could. So Ja Morant, I have him busted for a DUI.
Damn.
Basically, he loves Casamigos and. And he's
Shout out Casamigos, Reposito.
And he's in Memphis, so he has to drive. I know he'd be smoking too. So I think it's just, a matter of time. I doubt he has a driver in Memphis. Does Memphis have personal chauffeurs?
What, they don't got Uber?
No, maybe they don't have Uber in Memphis.
Let us know in the comments if Memphis has
Maybe
Ubers.
Uber has not expanded to the south yet. But I think that Ja Morant, I don't know. I think there's a risk just based on his prior behavior, right? Remember when he was on the private jet and it was with his dad or whatever? He was just drinking Casamigos straight out the bottle. That's dangerous behavior. And I see that as a risk for the upcoming season.
All right. So Ja Morant is number 1.
Yeah. Number 2 is good old Malik Beasley.
Oh, my God.
Malik Beasley, no matter where he's been, he's gotten in trouble. When he was with the Denver Nuggets, he met up with a former Broncos player in a hotel lobby and got in a brawl over a female. That female ended up being his baby mama, and he got shipped out to Minnesota. A lot of shit went down. And Minnesota, I don't know if you ever seen like the email that he sent where he refers to himself as Poppy. This guy's sick in the head, and he pointed guns at children. Wait. And he got caught with hella weed with his bitch. His bitch was trying to like hide the weed too. And then he like cheated on her with Larsa Pippen, like in the wide open. And she's still with Scottie Pippen, and she doesn't give a fuck. She's with every fucking young player. So Malik Beasley, sick in the head. He's already been in jail. I think he's going to get busted for battery. And then included in that battery will be a drug and gun charge now that he is in Utah.
I'm sorry, that's hilarious.
Number 3, I have another Nuggets legend, Bol Bol. Bol Bol, everybody's favorite, Bol Bol, sweet Bol Bol. Well, Bol Bol is best friends with a serial rapist. And Bol Bol hangs out with Ian Connor, who is alleged, just look up, I think it's like Ian Connor, like 62 at this point. Just look that up. Ian Connor is also a felon, or like at least a convict, right? Besties. Now he's in Florida. where Ian Connor will definitely be at because he's got connects, right? He doesn't want to be in fucking Denver. He wants to be hanging out in Florida, out by the beaches in Orlando. He's gonna be with Ian Connor, who Ian Connor refers Bol Bol as his son. They are tight.
That's sus.
And now I just think that Bol Bol's gonna get caught up in Ian Connor's shit, something like that. It's gonna be a drug and gun charge.
Oh my God. Bol Bol, please don't do it. You're too big for all that shit.
There's Bol Bol and Ian Connor. Yep.
Okay, so I mean, first John Morant, second Malik Beasley, and thirdly last is Bol Bol.
Bol Bol. Sweet Bol Bol.
Sweet Bol Bol. Not for long.
The fans' favorite. But
for me, man, like I don't want to get into this. So a little background about us. We are in e-commerce. Let's just leave it like that. That's all I want to say about that. We're in e-commerce, all of us, okay? So we sell millions of dollars each year. I'm not saying I'm rich. I'm not saying he's rich. None of that. But I understand demographic because you have to if you want to be able to scale any e-commerce company. So I understand putting people in a bucket if I have to so that I can segment and I could adjust budgets of ads optimized in a way that has a lot of ROI. So what I am saying here, I feel like anyone that is not of the demographic of US born, I feel like that's not US born, but just more outside of the US, like not maybe European players, Asian players, African descent. I feel like it's just a different vibe. I feel you grew up differently, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I'm an immigrant, right? I'm not gonna be in jail, you know what I'm saying? Because my mom's gonna beat my ass. I'm not saying anything to disrespect anyone that grew up in the US, this and that, but I'm just saying my list transition is all NBA, US born players, and I just don't see Bol Bol going to jail just because I feel like, in his head is like, I gotta make my dad proud.
Yeah, I see
like
that, but he also lost his dad pretty early and then grew up around Ian Connor.
We'll definitely talk about losing a family member early in life because it's a predicament that you put yourself in. And I mean, I don't want to get too deep on this podcast right now, but I feel like not history repeats itself, but it's just difficult, you know? So let's transition into my top 3 people who I think is going to jail, getting arrested. And I don't wish this upon anybody, but number 1 is Dejante Murray. And before I go on even any further, let's take a look at this clip of Dejante Murray that's going to basically tell y'all what I'm talking about. Boop, boop, boop. What is your first reaction to seeing that clip?
I think it's someone that has no respect, for like who this guy is. It's like, oh, you're nobody.
Who is number 2 though? He doesn't care because he's bouncing the ball off his head more than 3 times.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I'm finding his family if I'm number 2, right? I'm tracking him down.
You would think they're in the stands.
I'm at your grandma's house.
Yeah. Be careful. Don't look outside.
I ain't like, this is a human being, right?
I
get so it's not like I think that he sees himself, Dejante, as maybe above someone else just because he's in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
And he's hooping at another level. But I know that number 2 ain't gonna take that shit.
I mean, he did.
He did, but like,
whoever number 2 is, I don't know. Maybe let us know in the comments.
But what I'm saying is, like,
you should have tackled him and beat his ass right there.
Exactly.
If someone did that shit to me, I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah.
I don't care. If LeBron bounced a basketball on my head 3 times, I'm grabbing his neck.
Yeah.
And hopefully I get
it.
paid.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I get it. Like, he did take it, but Dejante, I think that there's like a what do you call it? Like a disconnect, right?
Yeah.
He's been in the NBA. He knows he's better than other players out on the court, and then he doesn't respect them.
Yeah.
And I think that could play into, like, whatever you're going to talk about, where doesn't have respect for regular humans.
He doesn't. And then that respect thing is a big deal, because I feel like Dejante being in Atlanta now, coming from a system like San Antonio, which is just a very stifled system. You can't really be yourself in San Antonio. Let's just be perfectly honest. You got to be who Pop is. You have to be the coach. You have to embody the franchise. And they do things in a square manner over there in San Antonio, but I feel like this is a players' league. Y'all people in San Antonio, y'all need to get some type of different regime there because y'all aren't going to do anything in the next 15, 20 years if you don't figure it out and cater these players to go to San Antonio. You did it with Dejante Murray. You did it with Kawhi. Let these players have a say. Let these players do them. And you're going to understand, oh, well, this is way easier than us trying to control who they are. So I feel like Dejante Murray in Atlanta is just going to be a whole new person. You know, this dude is not in Pop's system anymore, not in Texas, San Antonio. Yeah, you're still in a conservative state.
ATL, baby.
ATL,
It's gonna be in
Georgia.
he already got videos of him in a strip club.
Yeah, so he's already going to Magic City. He got the ones out from the ATM and was like, yo, I'm going to Magic City.
Go.
I'm throwing ones. This is the Atlanta way. There's so many rappers here. If I really want to, I'm going to hit up Future, Mr. Toxic #1, if we're talking about list.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, yo, what's good? So I feel like whenever it's really about where you were at. And I feel like where he's at right now in Atlanta, this dude is prime to get in trouble. And when we're talking about trouble, my next person is Jae'Sean Tate. And again, Jae'Sean Tate, I feel like this is someone in Houston that's a conservative state, and I don't want to single out conservative states, but let's be honest, you know, you look like me and you're riding around, maybe they're going to ask 2 questions instead of 1. Let's just leave it like that. But Jae'Sean Tate is in Houston, and, you know, I feel like he had a bit of a tough childhood. And I looked this up before we even did this whole thing because I don't want to be proven wrong, and I don't want to be that guy that just takes a specific information or a specific fact and throws it out there out of context. This ain't your Twitter.
You do want to be proven wrong.
Yes, but I don't want to get canceled. And that's just me from the bottom of my heart. But I looked it up, and, you know, Jae'Sean Tate, unfortunately, had his mom stabbed in 2004 by her husband. And I don't say this lightly, but if I see that shit or if I go through that shit, I might have some demons in the future that might lead me to getting arrested in 2022, 2023. Move on to the next one. PJ Washington, the Brittany Renner baby daddy.
Yes, sir.
My boy, thoughts and prayers go out to you, your loved ones.
No thoughts. Don't fuck with any more thoughts.
No thoughts, though.
Prayers.
But my thoughts go out to you because I feel your pain, and you were a young boy that got finagled by someone that's a little bit older, that might be a little bit wiser, that knows how to get the bag in Brittany Renner. Shout out to Brittany Renner. I think she's a Cowboys fan, but that's the only extent that I like her, is just her being a Cowboys fan, because this lady straight up finagled and finessed PJ Washington, and you do not come back from that with some type of repercussion in your head that maybe will lead you into getting arrested in 2022, 2023.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
No, I think PJ Washington is a great pick. I think that it's a Malik Beasley type of situation where it's baby mama trouble, and, you know, shit gets caught up, as we've seen with Malik Beasley. Absolutely. It could be Brittany Renner crazy ass maybe coming after him, and then he picks up maybe a battery charge, some shit like that. Do you have like a charge in mind that you think he'd be picked up with?
I'm not thinking gun charge, just because Miles Bridges basically took all of the all of the violence out of all that. I think it's going to be something dumb, like my boy's trying to medicate off that Brittany Renner bullshit, and he might just be trying to smoke some weed. It might be, I don't know, is Charlotte letting people smoke weed for free, or not for free, but like legally?
Legally? I don't know.
I don't know. So it might be
Southern State.
It might be drugs, and if it's not drugs, some minor in possession. It might be, you know, minor, or someone trying to distribute the drugs. And the biggest thing is just who you surround yourself with also. That Charlotte team is super young. PJ Washington super young. LaMelo Ball super young. And Miles Bridges is fairly young. And I feel like if you have someone in your locker room that you see every day, like a Miles Bridges, who, bro, like, we're not condoning anything that Miles Bridges has done ever. Like, you know, you shouldn't do what he did.
He's got bars, though.
Exactly. He does have bars. Shout out Baby Tron and Miles Bridges. But what I'm saying here is, if you're hanging out with these people every single day, you might turn out to be the 2022 version of the Portland Jailblazers.
Mm-hmm.
And the Portland Jailblazers, if you guys don't know, is a team that basically ran between the years of 2000 to 2003. And they redeemed the Jailblazers because there was just so much fuckery that was going on at that time. Case after case, you have people getting in trouble for drugs. And you have some people getting in trouble for, marijuana, things like that, battery. I don't even know. And I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now.
Sex offender?
You have sex offender there.
Ruben Patterson.
Ruben Patterson. Dude, get your shit together.
Crazy.
Buddy. What the hell? Okay, rotisserie league manager. I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff that was going on.
It was all Sheed. You got Sheed. When you got Sheed, I feel like in the Charlotte version, Sheed is Miles Bridges, right? Where it's that face of the crime, that face of the mean, and
he instigates.
He's
like the dude in the group that's not trying to fight nobody, but he's like, yo, that dude over there, he said your mom was a bitch.
Yeah.
He's an instigator. That's what he is.
Absolutely.
Keep going.
Well, can I get in my next part?
Absolutely.
All right. So getting back to kind of like things that you actually can bet on. We have the top 3 most improved this upcoming NBA season. And I have Zion again. I think that Zion, if he remains healthy, he can be an all NBA guy for sure. Even just his rookie year showed just pure dominance.
Yeah,
even without shooting, we look at Giannis, right? Giannis can't shoot, but he's just so dominant in the paint. Zion follows those footsteps. Zion's, in my opinion, obviously, I think he's more athletic than Giannis, and Giannis is a freaking athletic beast, athletic freak, the Greek freak. So Zion, I think he's definitely, if we're looking at most improved based off of, hey, he was injured, dealt with a lot of injuries. Zion, I think Jamal Murray kind of fits in there too. I don't officially have him, but in terms of returning from injury,
that's a good one.
And putting out an all NBA season, Zion's definitely up there. Number 2, I have Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton, no more Brogdon in Indiana. He's going to get full reins, point guard. I love watching Tyrese Halliburton play. He's a great facilitator. He's got a weird jumper, but he can fucking shoot. He's more of a set shot, more of a catch and shoot type of guy. But I think that he's going to lead this Indiana team. I don't think that they'll be great. I don't think that they won't even make the playoffs, but I think Halliburton will easily be able to be the guy on Indiana. So that's the reason I have him in there. Then my next guy is Josh Giddey with OKC.
That's a good pick.
I think it's because, no Chet.
Holmgren.
Exactly. No Chet this year. Josh Giddey has to be the guy next to obviously Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And as we've seen the past 3 seasons, SGA cannot be the sole guy. He can't be the only guy.
I don't know if he's the number 1.
Yeah, I think that Josh Giddey has the potential to be the guy.
Yeah.
And Josh Giddey, obviously, he can put up a triple-double. That's kind of like the format for the NBA now in terms of a superstar, right? It's like, oh, he puts up triple-doubles. Jokic, Luka, James Harden, any of those guys, they're seen as, in their prime at least, top tier guys, and Josh Giddey has that ability. He needs to be able to shoot. He needs to learn how to shoot. But in terms of where he's at right now, at his size, I think he's like, in my eyes, Ben Simmons-esque, but has a little bit of a better jumper. So I think that he can be another guy in that most improved.
Okay. For me, number 1 would be Jaylen Green. I feel like Jaylen Green is somebody that has all the athletic tools to be able to facilitate and score in the NBA and the next level like that. I think the departure of Christian Wood to the Mavericks is going to open up more chances for both Kevin Porter Jr. and Jaylen Green to be able to shine and do the thing. But I feel like KPJ is a really good assist man. I feel like Jaylen Green is probably going to get a lot of that, those assist opportunities. But my Filipino brother, Jaylen Green, number 1. Number 2 is Anthony Edwards. aka Kermit, for those that have seen the Netflix movie by Adam Sandler.
Unlock your jaw.
Yeah, great acting by Kermit, aka Anthony Edwards. So I feel like Anthony Edwards is ready to take the reins over the Cats of the world in Minnesota, and I feel like Anthony Edwards is somebody that has all tools to maybe just explode in not only in scoring or rebounding, but maybe in their assist a little bit more. I feel like Anthony Edwards is set up for success, and the team that they have with Minnesota Timberwolves, it could be worse. I feel like they're middle of the pack, but I think he has enough to work with.
He's got players. I mean, he's got, obviously we look at D'Angelo Russell and say, obviously he has regressed a good amount.
Tremendously.
He has Rudy Gobert now, and he has Cat.
Don't snitch. D'Angelo Russell.
Rudy, I think that the only thing that could hurt his thing here is Cat wanting to be the number one guy.
Yeah.
Cat, he kind of gets on ego trips and swears he's the guy, swears he's the number one center in the NBA.
You're not that guy. You're not a better shooter than Dirk Nowitzki, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he's the best shooting big man of all time.
Terrible take.
And I mean, didn't he won the 3-point contest though?
Yeah, but you're not the best shooting big man of all time.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think but
he can shoot.
He definitely can, and he can shoot unlike other kind of big guys. He kind of looks like he always kind of has to take a shit when he runs, and when he jumps. So
is he still with Jordan Woods?
With what?
Is he still with Jordan Woods?
Oh, in terms of girlfriend, I have no idea.
Shout out Jordan Woods.
Yeah,
go ahead.
But Cat, he'll be playing 4. And I think that could hurt Ant's chances just because Cat will now have more of a shooting, more offense flows through him type of role versus being a center where he's just kind of stuck down in the paint where he obviously doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
He wants to be 30 feet from the hoop. Now he's going to get the opportunity to do that. So, but I do think that Anthony Edwards, he's a generational guy in my eyes.
Absolutely. Anthony Edwards, number 3 for me. And let's move on to the last top 3 list that we have. And that's top 3 least improved player of 2022, 2023. And let's switch up the format here. Let me give you my number 1. Okay. I explain, then you give me your number 1. With my number 1 is my boy, CP3, Chris Paul III. Can you believe that? There was how many more? There was 2 Chris Pauls before. Bro, okay, so I get it. I would love to call my future son Eugene Villanos Jr., but 3 Chris Paul, whack. Anyway, I hate the Suns. I'm just going to say it.
Amen.
I mean, they were a good team back then, but I will predict this right now that the Suns is a mid-tier playoff team this year. I don't think they're going to get more than maybe 5th or 6th in the West. Some people might think that they're actually really good during the season. During the playoffs, they obviously choke. But I just feel like the reason for their decline this year, where I believe they're going to be a lower seed team in the playoffs, is the absolute decline of Chris Paul III's play. This dude in the playoffs against the Dallas Mavericks did absolutely nothing. And you can say it was a hamstring injury. You can say it's any injury. But for you to be on the court and try to maybe facilitate for your team or maybe try to defend any Dallas Mavericks player, dude, you might need to hang it up. I'm just saying. Maybe you have 2 more years on the bench, but not as a starting point guard player. That's who I think is going to be caught up by Father Time and eventually not be a top 3 improved player, but top 3 least improved player. Who's your number 1?
So going down the line of kind of like point guards that have regressed, Russell Westbrook is my number 1. Russell Westbrook, I mean, LeBron's out here on Twitter being like, I can't wait for him to go off, man.
What are you talking about, LeBron?
Just a kid from Akron.
Yeah.
No, Westbrook is not.
That's how you are.
Westbrook, he's either not going to play or he's going to end up on the bench.
He's not going to play.
Or he's not going to be happy.
Yeah, he's not going to play.
Westbrook if he could shoot, if he could play defense, and if he could not turn the fucking ball over, he could be the starting point guard for the Lakers easily, right?
Yeah.
Westbrook still has abilities. Let's not pretend like he's not just 2 years removed from almost averaging a triple-double while he was playing for Washington.
But hold on, what do you think his abilities are now?
I mean, he still has the athleticism and speed, and he still has the playmaking ability, but I think that his shooting has somehow regressed.
Right.
And
it was never really
it's
good.
almost to just unplayable levels, right? He's doing that little elbow jumper that he's always done throughout his career.
Bro,
Usually like in the past, right? It was pretty consistent.
Can I work? I would love to work with Russell Westbrook, and I don't even play ball, but it's like you're using way too much arm, bro. You're using way too much legs. The way that you're trying to bounce up like a pogo stick, and it's so stiff. Every time the Russell Westbrook shoots, or every time Russell Westbrook dribbles, this dude has like a straight, dude, it's just straight up, dude.
Exactly. Yeah.
Get loose. If you ever want to work with us, Russell Westbrook, we don't play ball, but bro, someone needs to tell you you need to use more wrist, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, but I mean, that's getting to the end of the point, but I think that he's just not going to be the guy that Lakers fans are still expecting him to be.
And I love Russell.
And, I like the Brody. I was a big fan of
me too, man.
Russell Westbrook for
Shout
a long
out
time.
Russ
But
44.
there's just certain things you have to face, and the NBA changes a lot faster than a player can change.
Right.
And he doesn't have the ability to be the Lakers' starting point guard if he hasn't improved in terms of shooting and limiting turnovers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's the least improved this year.
I totally agree with that. I mean, Russell Westbrook is generational talent for sure. 2 to 3 seasons removed from averaging a triple-double nearly, and it's just one of those things that's very, very tough to kind of witness, because it's someone that we've all grown fond of. And for me, whenever Kevin Durant left OKC, I really had so much respect for Westbrook. For him to stay at a small market type of city and NBA team like the OKC Thunder, and to try to do his very best until the end of his career, obviously is very admirable. But shout out Russell Westbrook. But Brody, you're gonna be not improved. That's just what it is, dude. It's just the cards. It's just dealt. It's just Father Time is undefeated, my boy. So number 2 for me is Udonis Haslem. When we're talking about Father Time, you're not gonna do shit, man. You're not. You're a coach, bro. Why haven't you transitioned into staff yet? How old is this dude?
Why
44?
is he taking up a player spot?
Exactly.
Like a roster spot that is so valuable in the NBA, and he's just like, yeah, man, I'll sit on the bench.
He's
again.
rebounding for people at practice.
Yeah. Remember, I think it was last year where they actually put him in the game, and Tyler Hero tried to throw a lob to him.
That was so stupid of Tyler Hero, bro. Don't try to hurt your OG here. You think he could dunk that? He can't. Anyway, I mean,
I don't think he can touch net. Like, I mean, yeah, he can, but I don't think he touched like.
He can't
dunk.
it.
He can't dunk, right? So
Udonis Haslem, I think you can still dunk. That's just my perspective. I think you could dunk. There's going to be some special circumstances for you to do so. You're not doing it in game, though.
The gray hair is heavy, man.
Yeah, the gray, all of it is heavy at this point. But yeah, I mean, I have Udonis Haslem. Number 2, I'm like, bro, I'm not saying you're washed, but I'm saying that you need to just move away from the bench and the whole playing. You need to just let go. I know Spoelstra's probably paying him good money. And Spoelstra tries to do that, and it's a generational thing where they always try to do that. They did that with Alonzo Mourning. They did that with Zoe, to be that dude that's, should be on the coaching staff, but it's still going to be there for moral support for the young guys. I'm really not sure how good that works. I mean, I guess the Heat is a 1 to 2 round exit team in the playoffs, so I guess it's working fine, especially after the Miami Heat franchise experienced what they experienced with losing all those, the LeBron James, D Wade, Chris Bosh, losing all them, and them still being relevant in the East when it comes to playoffs time because of the Jimmy Butlers or the people they brought to the organization is really dope. But Udonis Haslem, hang it up. You're going to be one of the least improved players, not because of anything other than the fact you're old, bro. That's all. And old is not bad. It doesn't have a negative connotation. It's factual. So know that before you be on one of our lists to say that you're going to tear your ACL. Be careful. All right. Last one.
I got two more.
Oh, number 2. Go ahead.
Oh, hold on. Sneep, where are we at on time? Okay, let's just we'll wrap this list up and then we'll call it a day.
Absolutely.
So my number 2 is DeAndre Ayton. Young guy, obviously, and former number 1 overall pick. Recently re-signed with Phoenix. We both hate Phoenix. I'll just come out and say it. Fuck Phoenix.
Well, you hate Phoenix because of the guy in the Denver Nuggets arena, the ball arena.
Fucking Suns and 3. No, it's the whole fan base. Sorry, but NBA Twitter, Suns people, and some of the worst. And then like after they're winning, they're like posting videos, of the players. They're like, yeah, we're still working out, we're still grinding, keep the grind up, right? No. DeAndre Ayton's not going to change.
Absolutely.
DeAndre Ayton being in the same system.
Hey, can I just ask you a question real quick about the Suns? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like they were a part of the whole train situation, DeAndre Ayton?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to ask you that?
Yeah, no.
Who do you think was in it?
So.
Who went first?
Devin Booker.
This is another
Devin
list.
Booker was the guy that had to go first, right?
Oh my
That's
God.
the way that I assumed it.
So can you run it back and tell the people what we're talking about here?
Yeah, like there was a no jumper, I think podcast was, where it was like they had some thotty on there. It was like, yeah, the whole Phoenix Suns team pretty much ran a train on me, but it was like yeah, someone's got to go first, right? And
Devin Booker?
It was Devin Booker, and then I think really like I can't name who was on the team at that time exactly. Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Chris Paul. I doubt Chris Paul was in it, honestly. I don't think Chris Paul was there.
Wait. So Sneeb got this pulled up right now. We're looking at the bro by
7 Phoenix Suns players in one night.
See, I can't name 7 Phoenix Suns player that was playing in 2019 and 2020, but I can probably agree that Devin Booker went
maybe
first.
Troy Daniels was maybe there.
Yeah, so a random 3D
these
guy.
guys. But yeah, DeAndre Ayton not going to change. He's going to be the same guy, same role, as long as he is in Phoenix and as long as he is surrounded by Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, and others. Whole team 7. Okay, so 7. I mean, that's more than the starting lineup. That's shit. Shit.
If they're saying there's 7, and this is me not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but I feel like maybe the coaching staff got in there too. You know what I'm saying?
Monty Williams, we see you, big dog.
No, I don't know about Monty. Maybe like a strength and conditioning coach, like a younger dude trying to get their career off the ground.
Mm-hmm. He's just collecting balls.
He's collecting balls. He's just probably like, hey guys, let's just go ahead and do this all together, and maybe we'll build some.
Come on, guys, it'll be
rapport.
fun.
Yeah, and it was on Adam 22's No Jumper, and they spoke about this, but in my opinion, if they're saying 7, and no disrespect to the thotty that said this, but you probably lying, bro. I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, she's saying it's 7. There's no proof to that. I'm thinking it was 3 people. Number 1, Devin Booker. I know DeAndre Ayton got in there, and I'm thinking it's Jay Crowder, and that's all I think it is. Okay. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've pretty much finished. I think that, DeAndre Ayton, same guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And to round it off with the top 3 least improved, we have Carmelo Anthony. This is another. I have the oldest list, I feel like. Yeah. Shout out Carmelo. Love all that stuff. Loved your time in the NBA when you were actually relevant. But you're not LeBron, bro. You're not CP3. You're not the focal point of any team. You can go to the Mavericks, but I feel like it's something that you need to kind of realize too, along with Udonis Haslam of the Miami Heat, that Brody, it might be time. Yeah. And you could probably be a good bench player for another year, another 2 years, but after that you have to think about it might be time, So I'm thinking for the next year upcoming, Carmelo Anthony. Yeah. You're not doing much.
I loved Melo, obviously Nuggets fan. A lot of Nuggets fans don't have love for Melo. I don't have a whole lot of love for Melo, but I do have some.
How much love do you have?
I have probably out of 100%. Probably 45.
Ooh, that's a failing grade.
Love. Yeah, I mean, you know,
That's the Asian Z.
he's not the true number 1-5. So that's what it is. My number 3 is Pascal Siakam.
Ooh.
Another guy that's, you know, all-star. But I think that this team just isn't Pascal Siakam's anymore. This is
Fred VanVleet.
Scottie Barnes. It's Scottie Barnes won Rookie of the Year. Scottie Barnes has a similar build almost, and Pascal, NBA knows how to guard him. Spinny boy. He spins and spins and spins. And, you know, he's not as efficient. He's not going to be that next Giannis that everybody thinks he is just because of his build, right?
No.
I think that it is now Scottie Barnes' team. It's going to be Scottie Barnes. I don't know as if I believe in Fred VanVleet that much for too much longer.
Really?
Just to be honest, I see him as, you know, a very solid starter and maybe an all-star, but I don't think that he's ever going to be the guy, right? And the Raptors are going to go through this weird period like they had last year where it's not quite a rebuild, but they aren't good. So
just to add color, Fred VanVleet in 2021 for the Raptors as a 6'1" starting point guard averaged 20.3 points.
20.
4.4 rebounds and 6.7 assists.
I loved playing him in fantasy.
He's amazing. He's
Great
amazing.
fantasy guy.
He's basically.
But he's 6'1".
He's 6'1", but
not athletic.
My man does it all.
Kind of chubby.
2021 though, Scottie Barnes averaged 15.3 points and 7.5 rebounds and 3.5 assists.
Rookie year. Solid rookie year.
So give me one more year of Fred VanVleet and then maybe Scottie Barnes could take over. I know everyone is hyped on Scottie Barnes right now, but I feel like you're not going to be Scottie Barnes without Fred VanVleet.
No, I don't have a problem with Fred VanVleet. I don't think that he's going to, you know, be less of a player this year. I think it is Pascal Siakam that will end up being less of a player. I think he's going to take a lesser role. He's not going to be the primary ball handler that we've seen. He's just not capable of it.
No.
He can dribble. He's you know, shifty for how big he is, but he's not going to be anything more than he ever was before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
Okay.
And, I mean, that's, you know, that's that. And my top 3 list, CB3, Donis Haslam, Carmelo, and I feel like Bake, your list is pretty comparable to mine's. I feel like this is something that is, you know, one of the things that we kind of agree on is if you're old, get the fuck out of the NBA, bro.
Yeah. Keep the young bloods coming in.
Go make a business or go get on the coaching staff.
Yeah.
You let the other people shine. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's tough because you love the game and you've been in it for so long. But let these young boys shine. All right?
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been a Gather Step podcast at Gather Step Pod on all platforms.
All platforms.
What are we on? We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Are we on YouTube yet? We will be on YouTube.
We'll be on YouTube, be on TikTok.
We'll be on TikTok.
Not Facebook.
No Facebook.
We don't need
We're
that.
not boomers.
Nah.
We don't really want boomers listening to us. Sorry.
Sorry.
All right. Peace.
Peace.